Hello, my name's Deb and I love to read. As a full-time RVer, I do a lot of reading while my partner does his remote work during the day. So come along with me this week and see what I read. So I am about to start a new book. It is called Until We Meet by Camille DeMeo. And this is what the back cover has to say about it. New York City, 1943. Can one small act change the course of a life? Margaret's job at the Navy Yard brings her freedom she never dared imagine. But knitting socks to bring comfort to the soldiers abroad is her more personal way of helping the war effort. When a note she tucks inside one of her socks sparks a relationship with a long-distance pen pal, she finds herself drawn to a man she's never even met. Can a woman hold on to her independence if she gives away her heart? Gladys has been waiting her whole life for the kinds of opportunities available to her now that so many men are fighting overseas. Then she meets someone who values her opinions as much as she likes giving them, and suddenly she is questioning everything she once held dear. Can an unwed mother survive on her own? Dottie is in a dire situation. She's pregnant, her fiancé is off fighting the war, and if her parents find out about the baby, they'll send her away. Knitting helps take her mind off her uncertain future, until the worst happens and she must lean on her friends like never before. With their worlds changing in unimaginable ways, Margaret, Gladys, and Dottie will learn that the unbreakable bond of friendship between them is what matters most of all. So, I love historical fiction and I'm ready to jump into this, so I will let you know what I think when I... Hello! I have finished Until We Meet. It took me a day, partly because it's freezing here, or it was yesterday, and it just felt good to kind of snuggle in bed and read. The main reason, though, is I love historical fiction. This was so well done. Follows 3 young women during World War II and their friendship and how they support one another. And it also follows 3 young men in World War II, one of whom is the brother of one of the women. He's also the fiancé of one of the women. The 2 young men are like platoon members with him, and they go to training and they're put together in a farmhouse with a couple who agrees to house them, and they are best friends. It interweaves so well back and forth between the men and the women, the men at war and the women in America. The women all work at the Navy Yard in Brooklyn. So, you know, there's the element of what women were doing for the war effort. The women also knit socks for the men in Margaret's brother's platoon or company. And one of the young men hasn't gotten any letters from home, so she's asked to write a letter to this young man, and it sparks this whole year and a half long journey back and forth between Margaret writing from America and William and Tom writing back from the war. There's tragedy, of course, but there's also, you know, the triumph of human life with babies, and oh my gosh. Until We Meet by Camille DeMeo. I absolutely loved it. I did. So I highly recommend it. And I am going to keep on reading. so I'll let you know what I get up to next. Hello, I am starting a new book today. It is called The Therapist by B.A. Paris, and this is what the cover says. Nothing is deadlier than discretion. Alice and Leo have just moved in together to a gorgeous gated community in London. But when Alice tries to get to know their new neighbors, she discovers a devastating, grisly secret about her new home and begins to feel a strong connection with Nina, the therapist who lived there before. Alice becomes obsessed with trying to piece together what happened, but none of her new neighbors want to talk about it. Soon it becomes clear to Alice that things are not at all as they seem. So I just finished a historical fiction, so I'm excited to be reading a thriller. Okay, it's the next day. I have finished The Therapist. If you like thrillers, you are going to love this one. Oh my gosh. The author had me suspecting everyone in the neighborhood. I never would have expected what happened at the end. Oh golly. Yeah. B.A. Paris, The Therapist. So good. I couldn't put it down. I literally read it in less than 24 hours. So good. Hello. I am about to start another book. I'm going crazy reading this week. This one is a historical fiction by Pam Jenoff called The Ambassador's Daughter. And this is what the cover says. For one woman in the aftermath of World War I, the City of Lights harbors dark secrets and dangerous liaisons. Paris, 1919. Margot Rosenthal has arrived in France with her father, a German diplomat. She initially resents being trapped in the congested capital, where she is still considered the enemy. But as she contemplates returning to Berlin in a life she hardly knows anymore, she decides that being in Paris is not so bad after all. Bored and torn between duty and the desire to be free, Margot strikes up unlikely alliances. With Krizia, an accomplished musician with radical acquaintances and a secret to protect, and with George, a naval officer who gives Margot a job and a reason to question everything she thought she knew about where her true loyalties should lie. Against the backdrop of one of the most significant events of the century, a delicate web of lies obscures the line between the casualties of war and of the heart, making trust a luxury that no one can afford. So, looking forward to this, and I will let you know what I think as I go along. Well, I finished reading The Ambassador's Daughter by Pam Jenoff, and it was really well written. I feel like the story with Margot, the young woman who is in Paris and feels trapped, and then she finds the Polish woman Krizia, who's a musician, and then all of like the intrigue with espionage and the story of the romance. I mean, it had everything. It had the backdrop of the conference after the World War I ended, that ended with the Treaty of Versailles. So that was kind of overarching everything. So the historical part was there. It was romantic. It was a little bit thrillerish in some of the things that Margot encountered when she essentially was being blackmailed to spy. So if you are into historical fiction, I highly recommend The Ambassador's Daughter by Pam Jenoff. So those are the 3 books that I read this week. I hope you enjoyed hearing about them. Please tell me what you are reading in the comments and let me know if there's anything that is a must read for you. I'll see you for next week's reading update. See ya!